era of colorful anime games is over. The year 2026 belongs to grit and realism. A new dynasty of Asian developers is rising, and they aren't making cartoons. They are building photorealistic worlds of wuxia martial arts and dark historical fantasy. We are talking about AAA free-to-play titles built on Unreal Engine 5, where the mud stains your boots and the steel feels heavy. If you love the atmosphere of Ghost of Tsushima or the combat of Sekiro, but want it without the $70 price tag, this is your portfolio. From the war-torn battlefields of the Three Kingdoms to the dark dungeons of ancient Korea. Today, PS5 Gameplay Hub opens the scroll on the top 10 realistic Asian action games. Prepare your blade. Opening our portfolio is the return of a legend, Dynasty Warriors Origins. Forget the flashy, neon-colored magic attacks of the past. Omega Force has rebooted the franchise with a gritty, realistic tone that fans have been demanding for decades. The core 1 vs 1000 gameplay is now powered by a brand new engine, capable of rendering thousands of soldiers with individual AI behaviors, creating a true sense of battlefield oppression. On the PS5, the visuals are surprisingly grounded. Armor gets dirty, formations buckle under pressure, and the chaos feels tangible. You aren't a god anymore. You are a general fighting for survival in the mud and blood of the Three Kingdoms. The free demo, released on November 22nd, is a mandatory download to test your PS5 CPU capability. It serves as a perfect tech test to see if you are ready for this new era of historical warfare. At number 9 is a visual powerhouse that demands your attention, Honor of Kings World. Do not confuse this with the mobile MOBA you might know. This is a fully fledged open-world action RPG that aims to rival Monster Hunter in scope and fidelity. The art direction strikes a unique balance, blending traditional Chinese wuxia aesthetics with high-fidelity realism and mechanical fantasy. You explore vast, photorealistic landscapes, from dense bamboo forests to futuristic ancient cities, hunting massive, mythical beasts. On the PS5, the texture work on the monster's armor and the environmental lighting is stunning, especially the water physics. It feels like a playable martial arts blockbuster movie where every frame is a wallpaper. With a release window targeted for 2026, this is a speculative growth asset. It promises to deliver a AAA monster hunting experience for free, challenging the dominance of established Japanese franchises. Number 8 is the current heavyweight of realistic MMOs, Throne and Liberty. This Korean giant is fully free to play and offers some of the best graphics in the genre, finally moving away from the anime look of its competitors. There are no cartoon characters here. Everything is rendered with gritty realism, from the cold stone of the castles to the dynamic weather system that directly affects combat capabilities. The standout feature for investors is the massive-scale PvP. Hundreds of players clash in castle sieges, transforming into golems to break walls or eagles to scout from above. On the PS5, it maintains impressive stability despite the on-screen chaos since its launch in late 2024. If you are looking for a long-term investment in a living, breathing world of war where politics and guilds matter, this is the safest blue-chip bet on the market right now. Next is the evolution of a classic that is redefining the genre, ArcheAge Chronicles. Built on Unreal Engine 5, this game ditches the old tab-target combat for a visceral, action-based system that feels heavy and impactful. The realism here isn't just in the graphics. It is focused on the economy and the physical world. You can be a warrior, but you can also be a trader, building ships and houses that physically exist in the open world and can be destroyed. The visuals are grounded and Western fantasy inspired, moving away from the flashy Asian MMO tropes to deliver something grittier. It promises a combat system where dodging, blocking, and spacing matter more than your gear score. Although delayed to late 2026, this remains a highly anticipated industrial future for your portfolio. Perfect for players who want a sandbox life simulation with next-gen graphics. Breaking into the top 6 is the Dark Souls of MMOs, Chrono Odyssey. This Korean project has shocked the gaming world with its visual fidelity, targeting a release in Q4 2025. The art style is pure dark fantasy, gothic, gritty, and terrifying, reminiscent of Bloodborne. The unique mechanic that sets it apart is time manipulation. You can pause or rewind time mid-combat to dodge fatal attacks, undo damage, or solve environmental puzzles. On the PS5, the chronotector mechanic creates stunning visual distortions that bend the reality of the game world. It feels heavy, deliberate, and expensive, far removed from the floaty combat of traditional MMOs. If you ever wanted Elden Ring to be a massively multiplayer experience where you fight cosmic horrors with friends, this is the closest asset you will find in the current market. Number 5 is the Sekiro of the open world. Project The Perceiver. Set in a war-torn ancient China, this game creates a grounded, historical atmosphere that stands in stark contrast to high fantasy titles. The combat is not about flashing lights or magic spells. It is about the clash of steel and the rhythm of battle. You collect masks from defeated bosses to learn their martial arts styles, adding layers of strategy to every encounter. The duels are cinematic and tense, requiring precise parrying and posture management. Visually, it uses a muted, realistic color palette that resembles a classic kung fu movie rather than a video game. With no fixed date yet, it represents a long-term prestige bond for 2026. It is a serious investment for players who respect the blade and want a deep, narrative-driven Wuxia experience. At number 4, we have the king of Wuxia Battle Royales, Naraka, Bladepoint. While it has introduced some stylized skins over the years, the core world and movement mechanics remain deeply rooted in realistic martial arts physics. You run on walls, grapple through trees, and engage in intricate melee duels that feel like a choreographed movie scene. It captures the crouching tiger, hidden dragon fantasy perfectly. On the PS5, the high frame rate is critical for the rock, paper, scissors combat system. Attack, grapple, parry. It is the most skill-dependent asset on this list, rewarding muscle memory over luck. If you want to prove your mastery of movement and timing against 59 other players in a high-fidelity environment, this is your arena. It is a high-frequency trading asset. Fast, risky, and incredibly rewarding for the skilled investor. Top 3 brings us the king of physics, Vindictus, Defying Fate. This is a complete reimagining of the classic MMO, built on Unreal Engine 5 with a laser focus on dark realism. When you hit an enemy, you feel the weight. Armor breaks, clothes tear, and weapons clash with sparks flying in real time. The character models are incredibly detailed, moving with a realistic weight and inertia that few action games achieve. It strips away the traditional MMO clutter to focus entirely on brutal boss rush combat where every hit matters. It's gritty, it's bloody, and it is a must-play for fans of physics-based action. With a public alpha scheduled for June 2025, this is a speculative asset you can touch very soon. Prepare for a volatile, hardcore experience that punishes mistakes and rewards precision. runner-up is the truest dark fantasy asset, Ballad of Antara. This game proves that Asian developers can do grimdark just as well as, if not better than, From Software. The world is bleak, foggy, and terrifyingly realistic. You control emissaries, switching between them mid-combat to access different movesets and explore dual realities of the same world. The environment tells the story: crumbling ruins, dark forests, and grotesque monsters rendered in stunning UE5 fidelity. The atmosphere is thick with dread, powered by volumetric lighting and fog effects that push the PS5 hard. Releasing in 2025, it is a prestige asset for your library, a game that respects your intelligence and challenges your survival instincts. If you are tired of bright, happy fantasy worlds, Ballad of Antara offers the dark, mature investment opportunity you have been waiting for. And finally, the #1 asset in the Realism Dynasty, where winds meet. This is the most ambitious historical open world ever made by a Chinese studio. Set in the Ten Kingdoms period, it prioritizes historical accuracy and deep physical interaction over fantasy tropes. You can interact with almost everything: burn grass, freeze water, and use Tai Chi to manipulate debris in combat. The visual fidelity is breathtaking, capturing the romantic yet grounded feeling of being a wandering swordsman in a living, breathing world. You aren't a superhero. You are a master of martial arts who can become a doctor, a merchant, or an architect. Available on PS5 from November 14th, 2025, it is the Ghost of Tsushima of China, free to play, visually unmatched, and mechanically deep. This is the ultimate real estate investment for your digital portfolio. That is your Realism Dynasty portfolio for 2026. We have moved beyond the age of cartoons. Asian developers are now leading the charge in high-fidelity, photorealistic experiences on the PS5. From the dark physics of Vindictus to the historical immersion of Where Winds Meet, your SSD is about to get heavy. So the question for the investors watching is, which reality do you choose? The historical grit of the Three Kingdoms, or the dark fantasy of ancient legends? Leave your ticker symbol in the comments below. Subscribe to PS5 Gameplay Hub for more global market analysis. Invest in reality. Play for free.